Hi everyone, it's Plant Mama Tatiana, and today I'm going to show you my Hoya collection. A few short months ago, I used to own 0 Hoya, and now I own maybe 6, which isn't a lot. I know some of you have way bigger Hoya collections, but I want to show you mine and give you a couple of care tips based on what I have learned from my Hoya. The first Hoya I want to show you is this Hoya Carnosa. At least I think it's a Hoya Carnosa. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know all of the plant names. A lot of these were propagations and cuttings that gifted to me, so I don't always know if this is the right plant. So please, 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 if you know the proper ID for these, let me know. I'm just going to tell you what I think they are. So this Hoya is growing so well. I'm so proud of it. I have it in this hanging planter by my window, my east facing window, so I don't want to take it out for now because it was kind of complicated to get it in. But look how big it has gotten. This Hoya started as just the cutting that you can see here. So it was just this part here. It didn't have this leaf, and it was a cutting from my boyfriend's uncle's plant. So he really nicely gifted me a little piece of this plant to propagate, and it has been doing so well. Especially being right by my window and getting some nice bright morning light, it is loving it. So this is a completely new leaf here, okay? This was the existing little stem. This part here, I don't think anything has grown off. It kind of looks like it's actually dying a little bit, but this then grew a whole new stem. This is what you see here, and it is still growing. This is new growth. It was actually wrapped around a hanging planter above it, and it was like really cute that it was doing that and trailing and finding its own way up. I love it so much. Anyway, so these are all new leaves, and it's just so pretty. I'm really proud of this one because it came from a propagation, and it's so big now. I can't even get the full thing in the frame, but you get the idea. So that is Hoya number 1, which is actually my first Hoya in my collection. Look at this, new leaves. Oh my gosh, I can't stop looking at it. I love it so much. Okay, so enough of that. The next Hoya I want to show is the second Hoya I had in my collection. It was one of my wish list plants. Okay, I've shown you this one before, but I'm really proud of how much it's grown. This is my Hoya Hindu rope, or Hoya Carnosa Compacta, and look how long it has gotten. It's a little heavy in this pot, but this again is from my boyfriend's uncle. He really set me up with some Hoya. So this is its little arm here. It was also a propagation, so I'm really excited with how it's doing. It's not growing as much as the other one because I actually have it a little further out from the window, so it's not getting as much direct sunlight. I just don't really have space for it by my window, but it would love that early morning light. It gets a little bit, but not as much as the other. So the growth has kind of slowed a little bit, but it is definitely longer than the last time I showed you. And this here is another little piece of it that is starting to grow, and it has another little shoot hanging there. So it's starting to branch a little bit on that side. This one gives me a lot of trouble with mealybugs. Don't even get me started on that. I don't want to talk about mealybugs. I just want to think positively. So it is so cute. I love it a lot. This one again loves a little more of that bright, direct sunlight in the morning, and then bright and direct light throughout the day. I wish I could give it more light. I'm going to try to give it more light, but otherwise I'm pretty happy with it. I think it's so gorgeous. I think it's so beautiful. I have it kind of hooked a little bit on my wall like so it can start to grow up the wall a bit. Never gotten it to flower, I wish, but I think it's gorgeous. I think it's so pretty. I think it's so unique. That is the next Hoya. The next Hoya is actually still a propagation, still a cutting, and it doesn't have roots yet, but I'm hoping it will soon. Look at this. Do you guys know what this is? Can you tell what it is, you Hoya lovers out there? So I have a little story time for this Hoya actually. I've had this cutting for about 2 weeks. So you can see, I'll take it out of the water. No roots yet, nothing really. I see a little bit of maybe something growing. I don't know, it's hard to tell. I think Hoya take a little bit of time to propagate in my experience with the other ones. They take some time, you just have to be patient. I need to switch out this water too, it's looking a little funky. But this Hoya is so pretty and so cute. I have to give a big shout out to Kaylin from Bear Trap in Delaware, which is this country club, I think, or restaurant, or I don't really know. But I was out to dinner for my boyfriend's dad's birthday, and I see this Hoya, this gorgeous, beautiful Hoya in the back corner of the restaurant. And I'm like, excuse me, is that real? It's gorgeous. And I was like, it kind of looks like a Crimson Queen Hoya. I didn't really know. I don't know if this is a Crimson Queen. I think it is. Okay, I think it's a Crimson Queen. Correct me if I'm wrong or tell me what's up. But I see this Hoya, it's so pretty, it's so gorgeous. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I just need to have a cutting of it. I need to have a cutting. And so I tell my boyfriend immediately, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's a gorgeous Hoya in the restaurant. I really want a cutting. And he's like, okay, we'll ask about a cutting when we leave. But we totally forget when we leave. You know, we've had a couple of drinks, we're having fun. So I totally forgot about this plant. But I couldn't stop thinking about this plant, obviously, because I'm crazy and obsessed. So I really was telling my boyfriend every day before we left, I was like, hey, can we go back to that restaurant? I really want to see if I can get a cutting. Can we go back? Can we go back? Can we go back? And so finally, before we leave, we go back to the restaurant, and my boyfriend, because I'm too nervous, I don't want to ask, my boyfriend goes up to someone that is working there and he's like, hey, my girlfriend is obsessed with plants. She is a little nuts, but she really wants a cutting of that plant. Is that cool? And the girl is like, I don't know, let me ask a manager. I don't really know what's going on. And so the manager comes and she's like, hey, like, what's going on? And my boyfriend repeats the spiel. He's like, my girlfriend is obsessed with plants. She's a plant YouTuber. She would be so happy. She would love you so much. It would make her day if she could have a cutting of this plant. And she was like, oh my gosh, I have houseplants too. I didn't even know that was real. It's so pretty. I didn't even realize because it looks so good. And I was like, yeah, it's real. And she's like, what is that? I was like, it's a Hoya. And she's like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to propagate Hoya. I don't know like where the nodes are or anything like that. And I was like, no, don't worry. Like, I know, I got it. I know what cutting to take. I had my scissors with me. And she's like, yeah, go for it. I have like 30 plants. Just go for it. Take a cutting. No problem. I was like, do you mind how much I take? She was like, not at all. Just take whatever you want. So I took a nice conservative cutting. It's not crazy. I was like, whatever I want, I'll take the whole plant if you let me. But you know, I kept my cool. And so she very nicely allowed me to take this cutting. I told her what my YouTube was. I don't know if she's ever gonna subscribe or follow me, but big shout out to Kaylin. Thank you so much for letting me have a cutting of this plant. It totally made my day, my week, my month, my year. Thank you. So this is the Hoya. I'm really hoping for roots soon, but I absolutely love this. I think it's gorgeous. I love the variegation on the leaves. Look at how pretty it is, the white, the contrast, it's stunning. So really hoping that this is a successful propagation. I mean, it's still alive after a couple of weeks, so I'm hoping for the best. But yeah, I think it did have some pink on this leaf. I took it off because it was a little damaged. There was another one here, but I'm hoping for a similar situation as the other Hoya I showed you, where maybe it doesn't continue to grow from here, but I might get a new growth eventually. So I'll be patient with this. It's right by my window right now, getting light, so hopefully soon I can get roots. But that is my Hoya cutting, my little propagation. I'm really excited. The next 3 Hoya in my collection are thanks to Yoshi from Plants and Other Things, or Orchids by the Lake, on eBay. He very kindly sent me 3 Hoya plants as well as some orchids. I did an unboxing a few weeks back, so check out that video if you haven't already, and check out Yoshi. He is so cool and knowledgeable. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. So thank you to Yoshi for literally doubling my Hoya collection. So the first one, I have it in water right now because it's in LECA, and it actually has grown like a lot of roots down here. I don't really know if I'm doing this correctly because I've never grown anything in LECA before, but I have it in this like sealed like mason jar with some water, and I kind of water, let it drip down, and then hopefully, I mean, it's still alive, so I guess I'm doing something right. But I mean, nothing new is growing. I think it's acclimating still. So if you have tips for me on how to grow Hoya in LECA, please let me know in the comments, because I am a total noob. I don't know what I'm doing at all. I'm just kind of guessing. Or if you have tips on how to acclimate plants that were in LECA, specifically Hoya, and move them to soil, I'm definitely interested in hearing what you have to say about that as well, because I'm considering it, because it stresses me out that I don't know what I'm doing with the LECA. But anyway, different point. So this is Hoya Shepherdii. I think I'm saying that right, but It's got really cool long leaves. They're like waxy, they're really long, and I think it's really cool. I'm gonna take it out of the jar so you can see it better. But I think it's so gorgeous. I love the shape of the leaves. I'm not sure what care to give this so much. I kind of keep it right next to my other Hoyas just because I know that they like that morning light. I don't know if it is thriving though. I'm just gonna give it some time to acclimate and see how it's doing. I've had it for a few weeks now. Hopefully it'll do okay. I want to make Yoshi proud. So this is that plant. It's so pretty. The next Hoya that I got from Yoshi is this Hoya Bella. So I still have it in the smegma moss and little pot that he gave it to me in. I am hoping to acclimate it here as well. I think this is probably the Hoya that is doing the worst. I think it's supposed to get slightly less light based on the research I've done. It likes maybe a lower to medium light, so I keep it further back from the window, but then it was like getting yellow leaves, so I was like, do I need to move it closer to the window? I wasn't really sure. I don't know if I'm doing it justice, but I'm just noticing that it actually seems to have some new growth right here. So maybe I'm doing an okay job. That looks like a new leaf coming. I don't think that was there before, but I am getting some kind of like yellowing leaves on this part. And I think part of it did kind of come out a little yellow from the male, so I think it might have just been recovering. So I'm not sure how it's doing, but I'm gonna keep it where it is and keep it in that spot and see if it likes it, because clearly something's going right with there's a little bit of new growth. I don't have it in terracotta. This is just like a little cover pot I put it in to keep it a little organized, but it is in plastic to keep it a little more moist. I think I might be keeping it too moist or watering it too much. I think it would dry out a little more and it would like that. But anyway, that is this Hoya, the Hoya Bella. It is really cute and little, the pretty little leaves. And if you want to see the flowers on the different Hoya, I put little screenshots when I did the unboxing, so definitely check out that video and you can see what the blooms of this Hoya would look like, potentially, if I ever get it to do that. Now, the last Hoya, also from Yoshi and also in LECA, so same question applies. Please, 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 if you have any tips on how to water this or care for it in LECA or transition it or whatever, like I feel like it's always so dry and this one doesn't seem to be observed. Well, maybe it is because some of the water's gone. So I think I just need to water it, but it looks pretty good. This is the Hoya Burtoniae or Burtoniae, something like that. Hoya DS70, according to Yoshi. And I think it's really, really cute. It's got this one vining trail. I don't think it's doing that well. Again, I've got like black leaves on the end coming. It could just be acclimating from being here. It could hate the spot I put it in. I put it somewhere with a little more light, but I'm not sure if it likes it. So I might back it up again and put it where the other Hoyas are. And I think it might just be getting dry. It might not be getting enough water in the LECA because I see the roots and it's just like, I don't know how to take care of it. I've been doing my research, but there's just a lot of plants and not a lot of time and I want to sleep. Anyway, so if you have any tips on this plant for care or how to do anything with any of these Hoyas, any tips you have, please leave them in the comments. I would appreciate it a lot. But this is my last little Hoya in my collection. Let me know what your favorite Hoya is in my collection. I don't have a lot. I know a lot of you have so many Hoya compared to me, but I am a little baby Hoya collector trying to get them to love me and care for me and grow and flower potentially. I'm not there yet. I've never had a Hoya flower for me. So wish me luck. Let me know if you have any tips or advice on growing any of these Hoya plants. Thank you to everyone that has sent me cuttings, propagations, and different Hoya plants. I really, really appreciate you helping my Hoya collection along. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you like all things plants. I post every single Tuesday on Plant Mama Tatiana Tuesday. I will catch you in the next video. Bye! Ah! Oh my god, you scared me. I'm still trying to do my thumbnail, babe. You really just came in here to scare me?